Yo, 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 yo! How we doing, everybody? Welcome on back to another episode of Elden Ring. Or maybe you're new here. I don't know. I don't know how people actually consume these VODs, to be honest. I don't check the stats. But either way, we will be continuing with another episode in this fine, fine game. Today will be the Loki gets his face planted in by Melania and then automatically moves on to doing, like, anything but this. Woo! Well, let's see. While we wait for everybody to shuffle on in, I'm gonna take a little closer look at the environment, because I just realized something while looking at this. It didn't click to me when I was doing the first exploration, probably because I was distracted by chat. That's probably why. But this looks like a graveyard, right? So you got these little, like, grave tile things to, like, cover up the bodies. You got, of course, the coffins in the corner. So yeah, this looks like a bunch of like a crypt for the church that's upstairs here, right? So, like, you go to the church, you go to the back, you take the lift down, and here's the church crypt, which is at the roots of the Halig tree, naturally. Because now we're doing Halig tree burial, yay! That also makes sense considering there's a graveyard outside here, right? Upstairs. So I guess this would be like the crypt for the important people. It's like, you are a hero and you deserve to be closer, right? Like similar to the catacombs or stuff like that. Anyway, howdy Xavier, good to see you. Hello John, I'm not new, gotta beat No John, no, John, no! I can't beat her, John, why? Why do you have faith in me? I don't. Having low poise for waterfall is going to suck. Oh, everything about Melania is going to suck. God, I like this flower. So this is Miranda, I guess. Just casually in the corner here. I wonder if she's actually buried here. Alright, let's go upstairs real quick. I tried getting a shot up here, but well, as you can see, that didn't work out. Are these meant to be Halig tree burials, yet when the Halig tree might not be done growing? Ooh, that's another possibility. Night Scout could be from earlier period, and then the church was built on top of it as the land continued to be development. Actually, speaking of it having development, let's see. I just realized there's actual ground here. So for a second, I thought like it was just like the tree grew out of like the ocean or something, but I guess that doesn't make sense. There must have been an island. Oh. God, this area is such hell. There we go. You're dead. Yeah, there's land out here. I'm not crazy. Yes, you have water, but there's land. So you gotta wonder. And it's not like it's snow-covered land either. Is that true for everything here? I wonder if there's an island or something here. Though it is kind of weird still that... Well, I guess it's at a lower elevation, right? So it's not as cold as maybe the mountaintops. Interesting. Yeah, we ain't jumping there. The game really wants you to go through this. Some more burials. We see more burials here. Ah. Yeah, these definitely look like burial crypts. And then you have the ones out here. I can't remember, are they on both sides? I know they're at least on one side. Like, I definitely remember graves being here. Yeah, okay. I'm not crazy. So you got a graveyard, a bunch of guys kind of sitting there being like, my buddy is dead. Hello, Joel. Miranda, it's a scarlet bloom. The traveler set you picked up at its base is interesting. People wonder if that was from one of Millicent's Center or Melania herself after Finlay got her home. Definitely not Melania. Because Melania only, if I recall correctly, she only blooms twice? Her first bloom being in Aeonia, and then the second one, of course, during our boss fight battle. So yeah, definitely not a second time. And then the third time, I think, is after you beat her, right? It's like she's gonna bloom again and she'll become the rock goddess in truth. Which, well, ain't that nice to know? Huh. There's even more of you. God! Where are they giving birth to all of you? We found a nest in Caelid. I wonder where that nest is here. Oh, same statues. Got a little prophet boy here. Guess they decided to set up shop in the graveyard. Okay, so graves are in both ends. And these are unique grave models, right? Yeah. Oh my god, guys, look! It's a pine tree or whatever. Even though the Halig tree looks like it's a completely different kind of tree. Yeah, I'm really cooling on the... Like, every episode we do of this game, I find myself less and less enthused by the Great Tree Theory. I'm just like, yeah. My mind is quickly closing on this entire idea. Let's see. I guess the thing I'm curious about is if the Crucible is the Erd Tree as a sap, wouldn't the Halig Tree also have had that phase? Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's the idea with the Cut Miranda talisman, right? It's very evocative of America's age of... wait, it's not a talisman, technically, is it? It's just a Miranda flower item, I think, in the cut content. But, like, it's very evocative of the Age of Plenty America talisman, right? Where it's like, oh, look, this looks like... this kind of has the same shape and stuff as the America one. And it's kind of giving the idea of the flower crucible with Miranda and all that. Anyway, I think the Halig tree was planted on an island. Its roots might since go into the ocean, but not always. Yeah, I didn't really think too hard about it, but I was like, I guess it's in the ocean or something. Like, that would be kind of my unconscious thought. But now that I'm thinking, actually, you know, using my brain, I know. Who would have thunk? Using our brain, playing video games. Oh. You make everything unfun, sir. I just want you to know that. Ow. Dang it. Went too early. Whatever, I didn't want to be out here with you anyway. Let's see, where was I? Honestly, it doesn't seem like the Halig tree is coming up from the water, though, even going from the map. Yeah, I just kind of thought about it because I was like, oh, it's over the ocean. Must be water or whatever, right? But yeah, giving a closer look, you can kind of see this looks like there should be land there. I don't know if it is reflected in... You know, we can actually go there and check. I wonder if this is reflected in game at all. Because you get hit by one of the bursts, you won't be able to dodge out until she pauses for the next one, and with your lower than average defense and health, you'll probably die. Yeah, I'm not expecting Melania to be a fun fight. Again, I'm gonna give it one serious try, and then the rest will just leave, because I'm not devoting that much energy to this fight. Well, that looks like it's coming out of the water. Yeah, I'm not seeing any land or stuff. At least not from here. It might be like because the game does weird crap with this all the time. Like, all of this isn't really here. It's really more like a sheer cliff of, like, from here to here. And the rest is all ocean, right? Like, that's how it generally is for all this lands between landmass. Like, this here. Like, what the hell is all this supposed to be? That ain't there, that's for sure. So I would not be surprised if, they didn't actually put much land except for the explorable parts in the LOD stuff. This is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Yeah, this one's taller. Huh. Who would have thunk? But this is the one we go to, right? Yeah, Haley Tree Roots. Uh-huh. Yeah, so Tree basically kind of split itself off to do its own thing. I wonder if that's before or after, Moog. I wonder if that's before or after Moog came in. There's a lot of questions I have there. I think hauling ass then rolling toward her will help with the waterfall, along with a hop while fleeing once the first flurry begins. Also hug one of the back legs like mad. Guys, you guys are giving me all this advice, but this is too complicated for my small brain. I'm just probably gonna... let's be honest, I'm probably gonna die my first try, and then we're moving on. This is not something I'm expecting to dedicate my entire stream to today, especially when I'm this tired. For those that don't know, we had a very early, late stream, technically today. And while I had a lot of fun in the Deofield Chronicle, I'm now incredibly tired because of how long the day's been. So yeah, Melania is not... I'm not expecting to suffer through Melania for 2 hours. Oh my god. Are you done? Well, if you're not... Yeah, that looks like a bunch of water. No land in sight, sir. No siree. Anyway, let's see. There's something after the boss battle which might imply she recovers in one. Also, the Scarlet Ionia's text is weird because Melania's Phase 2 name implies she's already the Goddess of Rot. Yes and no. I would say she probably is becoming the Goddess of Rot, and it's reflective. The name is reflective of that, but she isn't quite there yet. Anyway, that's a separate discussion. I think the bloom after the fight might be the second, but the wording is confusing. The bloom... Because she blooms mid-fight, doesn't she? I'm pretty sure. Or something to that effect. Oh, well, we'll see. There seems to be a distinct separation between the Bug Disciples and the Haley Tree Soldiers here. Do you think, then, the idea being that they're separate factions and they're not aligned? Because we see, Millennia's Rot, Soldier Knights still... acting alongside each other, along with the Rot Erdtree Avatar stuff. So I don't know if they're necessarily like separate factions, but yeah, I do think they're keeping to their own little cliques. Makes you wonder. Maybe they don't like each other. They're like, okay, fine, we're only associating because you're affiliated with Miquella's sister. Miranda Chiadi and Plyce Flowers had their own Crucible era. No. As in, the Miranda Flower itself is the Crucible for the Miranda Flowers Night Scout. Like the Erdtree Crucible, Flower Crucible, like a Crucible is a primitive mid-evolution phase of like... No, Night Scout, I think you're looking way too deep there. No. I was looking at Miquella's Needle, and I was wondering why it looks silver when it's unallied gold, and then I thought maybe it's somber like the smithing stones. Ooh, interesting. So you think that they had the color drained or something like that? That's possible, because the idea would be all its power went into sealing Melania's Rot. That's a cool idea. If only Moog kept a diary. I don't think I want to read Moog's diary about Miquella, to be quite frank. Oh boy. I see. It's one of those old map techniques to show elevation, I think. If so, that is neat that they do so, but gosh darn, is it so misleading on what you think the map actually looks like. I think your playstyle could actually beat Melania. Just swap Comet for Night Comet so she doesn't dodge it. Stars of Ruin, Night Comet, and running like Bad has a shot. Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna try with Stars of Ruin for this fight. See how that goes. But yeah, it's definitely one of those fights where I feel like I'm going to be constantly dodging and hoping I don't get caught in a waterfowl dance. They could be allies, but it could only be because that the sibling... Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The sibling relationship because of their idols, yeah. Miquella's Needle is noted as incomplete, so perhaps being unsomber would be its finished form. That's another good point, Night Scout. Very good. Anyway, guys, let's... you guys seem to have all come in, so let's see just how badly I'm going to die to Melania. Okay, you know what, yeah, because we know that Melania is gonna obviously have dodge. I already know that, so this, well, okay, this might be good in, like, if she gets, like, in her, like, Flower Bloom attack or some shit, because if I've seen the PvP version, that PvP version keeps you in place for a good chunk, so I might be able to get Comet Azura off in that time. We'll see. We know this, Terra Magica, Adula's Moonblade. Yeah, the only thing I would change out is this, probably. Also, let's put this in chest. Anything else I want to be concerned about? Not really. There we go. GRR. Martin probably wrote a Moog diary, John, you think so? Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Yeah, I think that's a good possibility. They follow the two Empyreans with opposing philosophies after all, yeah. Definitely would make sense that they might be, very loose allies at best. Gary remarks that Millennia rejected the Rot and the Kindred Rot, so it feels like Millennia wouldn't have wanted those things sticking around in FAL. Yeah, but they haven't exterminated them, at least, that's for sure. Gary also says the Kindred worship the Rot in Millicent rather than Millicent proper. Kindred seems to force something on her, so to speak. I mean, Gowry's forcing something on her too, right? With his whole mission thing, which, by the way, we should probably do that. Alright, Chet. There it is. There's our femboy, as a tree. With a giant gaping hole in his gut. Ew. Millennia be like, brother, dear brother. Where you at? Girl, are you breathing? I'll take that as a no.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return.
I'm just saying it. Our Tarnish should have attacked her while she was in this setup phase. This is his biggest mistake.
Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola.
Wait, it's Melania? Have I been saying that? I think I said Millennia. Oops.
And I have never known defeat.
Oh my god, it's a mid-ear moment already. Mid-ear? Melania. Oh. Woo! Alright, I get it. I get it. Woo! Alright, damage is okay. Damn it. Stop healing. Damn. She dodges a lot of them, though. Woo! All right. Ow! Well, that got me. I should probably roll toward that one. Alright, I'm not going to consider that the first serious fight just because of the fact that it spawned me in the middle of the map, which I'm pretty sure most attempts don't involve. Just call me a feeling. I don't think most people win that first fight where you spawn in the middle of the map where she can instantly attack you. Or maybe she can instantly attack you here too. Who knows? Oh. Alright, let's see what, Ambush Shard works? To be honest, I might like Ambush Shard more than Stars of Ruin. Oh! Whoop! Yep, that's what I expected. Yeah, Night Comet would have been great. Holy crap. Zully found out that data name for the fungus of the Cleanrot Knights is called Cordyceps. Very funny. Oh yeah, it's too, Uh-huh. Woo! That was pure luck. Just want to point that out, chat. Well. Up. Millennia be casually dodging my assassination strikes. Just moving. I don't know if I have enough cerulean flasks for this fight, by the way. Oh god. Stop! Okay. Oh! I dodged most of that back half. I got clipped by the first, though. I swear she does anything. Yeah, you have to be tight with that dodging on that ability, huh? That waterfall. Dang it. Woo. 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 Damn. Woo. Woo. Excuse me. I screwed that up. I panicked. Well, you guys got an idea now. She also spams it if you cast it at range. If you cast at range, gotcha. Oh snap! Lukey's gonna get his ass beat. Yep, Pastor. I did. All right, let's see. Night Comet is Comet, but the AI won't dodge it. Her boss song is the best. I like it. It's definitely soothing, at least phase 1. The sparks on her wrist and the clink sound are key tells. She can be like a Bloodborne / Sekiro combat boss. Yeah, pretty good. So far, not as bad as I feared. Her at least for the first few tries, I was able to get through what's it called, Waterfowl Dance pretty intuitively. Just felt very very natural when to dodge for that. You have to kind of dodge into it though, really. We'll see how that goes in the future, but again, this is not going to be the stream where we just bash our head against the wall for Millennia, so... what else do we want to do? We want to go to the Drainage channel. Oh yeah, Radon's Great Rune will be great here for the percentage-based HP, MP, and Stamina boon. Yeah, that might be good. How many... rune arcs do I have? 50... Okay, guys, I have 58 tries of the Millennia fight. I think that's possible. This is why Night Comet is generally better than Ambush Shard. Probably something worth getting then. Flurry's the longest. Flurry 3 is a tricky one. Yeah, it could be a little tricky, but it feels more or less right. Like the biggest problem for me on the last half was I kept trying to out-dodge it from range, but she just zooms in, and then the timing just throws me off because of that. When I was close by, when she was, like, just, you know, doing her normal thing, it was like, okay, dodge. Okay, dodge. Last thing, okay, dodge. And then, like, I'd get clipped by, like, maybe the last slice or one at the end or something. So, yeah, the problem was mostly when she was, like, using it to close the gap between us. It was like, oh, God, how do I handle that? But, yeah, it's definitely a doable fight. At least phase 1. I don't even know what I'm going to expect for phase 2. Phase 2, I'm going to hope to all that is holy. She does her, like, flower attack, like the spell you get from her, I'm assuming, or whatever. And, like, I could just be like, whoop. And go, woo. And get, like, her down, like, half her HP or something. She usually has, like, a 45-second cooldown for Waterfowl, but like I said, if you cast it at far range, she ignores it. It's like, wow. Wow, that's a great little detail. It's like, okay, if it's a caster, just fuck them. I think you might already have my color crystal. I recall seeing it in your inventory. I think I do too, but let me double check. I have Night Maiden's Mist, which I don't think is gonna be useful. I think she jumps around too much. Sort chest. Yeah, Night Comet's here. What's the FP cost? So 32 versus 20. So it's a little bit more expensive. Okay, so memorize spells. We're gonna put Ambush Shard away. Alright, and then we'll worry about that later. I'm not sure if Carrion Slicer's ever going to come into play, to be honest. So I think we might remove that when I do the proper fight. Anything else that we want to include? We're doing Ronnie's Dark Moon. I mean, I don't know if it's better than Renala's yet, but it seems okay, so... Again, at least for Melania, I think it should still work for damage, but we'll see. All I really care about is the magic debuff, so we can squeeze out some extra damage. Night Comet... No, we don't want to add that yet here. We want to add Terra Magica, and then... I actually don't know if Comet Azure is going to be that useful for Farm Azure level. I guess we'll see. Alright, so Millicent's quest. I believe someone mentioned that it's over here. Slicer could chip at her and try to delay waterfowls. That's true. If I can get a few Slicer slashes in when she's close by, that could be useful. That is a possibility. I'll be honest, I think I love this area the most, though, in terms of aesthetic. I like how it's all this white, and then you got the red with the white. Very pretty. Let me move here. Look, chat, that's where I died. I like how it just, like, keeps going and then stops here. Like, obviously, there's the whole tree around it or whatever, right? But I just kind of find it funny how the model just, like, abruptly stops where they're having it. It's like, ah, yes, from this, Mikola's entire tree was born. It's like, well, they decided to stop here and then get bigger. Also, this is technically more land, right? Like, technically, yeah, this is more rock and stuff, so... Hey, land! This is definitely, some kind of island. Makes you wonder why they picked this spot of all things. Look at all those depictions of a tree and Saint Trina or whatever. Yep. And again, like, where's... Yeah, so there's the entrance. Look at all of that rot that should be dumping on us as soon as we enter the arena, but it doesn't. I'm just saying. That is a whole heckin' lot of rot that should be, drowning us in there. In fact, I would prefer if it drowned Melania down there. Oh, boy. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm just waiting for some random shit. Chat, there's no way. There is 100% no way they're just putting a random item without a corpse in the middle of somewhere, and it's not gonna lead to, like, a million of those, like, rock guys coming up, or some crap. Or, I don't know, like a boss or something's gonna show up. I don't know, I feel Dragonkin Soldier. I don't know why, just call it a hunch. Oh, of course, it's a fuck. I should have known. Oh. No. Stop. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. The stupid tree blocked the way because I was slightly stepping back. Ugh. That was close, though. It seems the Haley tree was supposed to grow into twin trees, but one of them was so sick that they built the brace around it. Is the brace only for one? No, there's actually. Okay, so this is the tree that has the brace. I can't. Okay, I don't think that's the brace. Okay, yeah. So it looks like the brace is only for one of them. I don't know if it was because it was sick though. Like, here's my question: was the brace built before or after Moog stole Mikola? That would be the question. I guess we might get some clarification with the DLC to help narrow down the timeline, just because we'll have an idea of more of Mikola's dream, like when it came to exist, why it came to exist. Yeah, gonna go up here. Yeah, I could have totally gotten that tree spirit. Oh, okay, sure, whatever, buddy. You little shit. All right, so I was a little wrong. It was Erd tree spirit because it's not an Erd tree; it's a Halig tree. Similar with the Erd tree avatars, which okay, yeah, makes sense. I was very hopeful that that would just miss me outright, but nope, no such luck. Damn. Can you, like, stop, please? Wait, there we go. Wait, did it lose track of me? Oh, darn, I dodged too late, my bad. Ow, no, the rod. Oh, I'm dead. Do you think Mikola just took an Erd tree seed and started doing botanical experiments on it? Possibly. Again, this is still my, this is probably the area of the lore I'm probably weakest on, just by virtue of I have not dedicated too much thought to Mikola and Melania. Again, my biggest my only focus, like, right now, as far as, like, writing Elden Ring lore right now, is Godfrey's reign. That's mostly because I have a strange infatuation with the Banished Knights. Oh. There we go. In the DLC, we're gonna find out that it was all part of Mikola's plan. Yeah, he wanted to get kidnapped, you see. I assume Mikola embedded himself into the tree to help the stunted one since he's in the stunted one. I suppose that makes sense. That could be a possibility. The idea maybe the first tree was kind of a failure and then he kind of goes inside of it and therefore starts developing this new tree. Yeah, that could be it. Yep, okay. Okay. Oh. Ow. I hate it when trees block my way of my giant laser. Ow. Ow. I liked you better when you did your big thing. Yeah, you do that. There we go. Whatever. Whoop. Ow. Well. That was close, though. I will Commodore this thing to death. The meme must live. Welcome to the tree grab hell. I don't mind the tree grab. Like, it kills me. Well, it's easy to dodge. The bigger problem is the spawn. Like, why is there not a Stake of America here? Yeah, right now, Godfrey's Giga Chad warpath is interesting. I'm also curious if his wars reflect a change in how he started treating fallen foes, early wipeouts, such later assimilations. There does seem to be a little bit of that. It looks to me, at least, especially if I'm right, and the graveyard with all the holes in them are the Sun Capital stuff, and they were aligned with the fortified banner, that would definitely line up with the idea that basically it was kill everybody, and then once the Sun Capital was destroyed, it was just the fortified manor, and that got subdued, right? And Sarash ends up joining. Then we get the idea of, okay, Sarash is going to be advising more diplomatic answers, right? And there's still going to be wipeouts. You still, like, you see a bit of that during the Giant War and stuff, but there is possibility for mercy. See, O'Neill, Niall, I forget which one it is. I keep mixing those two up because I really don't care. But one of those Banished Knight Commander boys who offers up his leg and stuff, right? And then his army gets to live, right? So you see some ideas of this where it's like, okay, they might decimate you, but they'll let some of you survive if you make a good case to Godfrey and, like, appeal to his warrior nature and honor and, you know, all that stuff. But then you get, like, what's it called? Then you get to, like, some of the really later conflicts. And, yeah, it doesn't seem to be that harsh, right? Because the Ancient Dragon Cult's allowed to basically come to exist in Lingdell with some of the dragons and all that, despite the Ancient Dragon War. And you get the whole Banished Knight stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like the Banished Knights were dealt with any particular vengeance, right? Like, obviously a bunch of people died, but it wasn't like, okay, we're gonna wipe you all out or make things worse, right? Like, it seemed like the Banished Knights, all things considered, got off pretty good, and that seems to be in part because of the Stormlord and stuff, right? So there's a lot more of Godfrey both respecting you in battle while also having Sarash to kind of, like, tame him from being like, I shall destroy everything even if I respect you. I shall respect you with death. Right, so seems to generally work out that way. I screwed this up. I screwed this up so bad. Oh my. Ow. Ow. Alright, so both of us are screwing this up real bad because you're not doing anything of significance. Ow! That was the most effective attack he's done. I just want you guys to know I'm having more fun bashing my head against the wall fighting this than Melania. Just want to point that out. I would rather do this than fight Melania. Like a helix, like the shape you can see in the God-made weapons. Wait, what are we talking about, Joel? I guess I didn't get the significance. It implies this tree does serve a similar purpose as the Erd tree, huh? Wait, I'm a little lost. What are we talking about here? Am I missing something? Let's see. You could also trigger the tree man and then run back to the branch you came from so you can say, oh, that's true, Dawn. I could do that. I could trigger it and then, like, kind of leave. Let's see. Could the Haley tree also perhaps be the oldest of the Erd tree seeds? I don't know about that, Night Scout. That I have to look into. The Haley tree is bifurcated, so it's all one tree just splitting into two major branches. Yeah, that's for sure. The hell is that the sphere can grab you through several solid walls and floors. I suppose, but, like, again, I don't mind the clipping. Like, again, it's such an easy attack to dodge. The biggest problem is that you might get, like, no line of sight, so you have no idea. You might mess up the timing because of that, you know? Instinct isn't going to be as sharp. But I've adjusted, I think, pretty decently already, so. Let's see. What's the path back after I trigger Big Scary Tree Man? Oh, okay, sure. Uh-huh, I see. Alright, we'll try it. We will try it. Yeah, let's do this. What? There we go. It's funny not having music for this. Is this really? Okay. That was the most hilariously stupid shit I've done. Thank you, John. That was the best recommendation. I only wish I did that all with the single potion. I wish I took the potion first before testing that. God, that was so beautifully dumb. Really? All that for a great glove gravewort? Or whatever it's called, glovewort, whatever. So where's Millicent's quest? I guess I have to reset the area first, maybe? Oh, for a second I thought there was a summon sign there, but no, that's just my eyes playing tricks on me with the red. Let's go this way. Millicent! 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 Oh, Millicent! Where are you? Oh. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, so I think I have to reset. Alright, any last things I want to check out? Explore? Nope. There we go. Yeah, I was going off on Night Scout's comment. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, sorry, guys. There's so many of you, and you guys are commenting so much, it's hard to keep up with chat today. I guess it's a good thing with a growing channel and more chat activity. That's always nice. But man, I hate it. I hate that I can't always keep track of what everyone says. And kind of like make sure that I answer everybody's questions or whatever. Let's see. Exploits are great. Good recollection, John. Worked like a charm. Now Loki could talk to the gallery and chat with Millicent near the First Grace. The First Grace? Oh, I know what you're... I think I know what you're talking about. The First Grace is... Oh. There you guys are. This Grace? Or are we talking about Caelid Grace? Let's try here first, just in case. And then we'll go to Gallery. Talk to Millicent at one of FL's Grace, then talk to Gowry back at his shack. Millicent's quest can then be done this look. Gotcha, okay. Let's do that, chat, so we can get this out of the way. I want to get this quest done. FIL. Okay, this should be FIL. Let's see if she's at the prayer room. Is she at the little chapel? Is she in the Haley Tree Church area? If not, she won't be here. Man, you are surprisingly full of poise. Let's see. When did we last see Millicent? I think it was in Altus, or was it in Mountaintops? No, I think it was Altus. You're not seeing anybody else. That was just too good to pass up, chat. Not the canopy. Gowry's in Caelid, Millicent's in FIL. Okay, so FIL would be here, probably. So one of these, No, not here. Maybe up here? She won't appear in Dominula until the Godskin Apostle is dead. Oh yeah, did you find Millicent at Dominula in the Mountaintops beforehand? No, I did not. Okay, so I gotta go to Dominula first. Yeah, I only found her at Altus. We never found her at Dominula. So if we're going to Dominula first, then it's here. Let's see, anything else? This Haley Tree symbol is its helix. Okay, Xavier. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry.
We meet yet again. The arm you gave me truly is a thing of wonder.
Yeah, I'm sorry for ruining your pose.
Just like my own. Even handling a sword. Perhaps it is foolish to say this to you of all people, but I am sure of my skill with the sword. Thus, I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need.
I don't think I'll have the need very often at this point.
I would have you call upon me in battle. It is the only way that I can express my thanks.
Of course you come to the place where they're stripping people of their flesh and bone. Of course the one-armed woman comes with a new prosthetic, of course. Just alright, and then Mountaintops, right? Oh, Shabriri may still be here. Quest lines are too confusing. I don't think they're confusing. The problem is that I ignored Millicent's quest line for the longest ass time. So like I wasn't there. Like I did all the stuff for where she would normally appear before actually advancing her quest to that point. So it's like, oh, I skipped it. Whoops. So this, yeah, Millicent's quest would have been those quest lines I would have definitely skipped. It's gonna be the Katarina Knights for me. I always skip the Sigurd and Siegmeyer quest lines, or so I'm sorry, Siegmeyer. Yeah, I always skip those quests during my casual playthroughs before I got into this whole lore shtick these past few years. So, like, I had no interest in ever completing their stuff, even when I learned about it after the fact. Let's see, where else could I go? Millicent will help with the Draconic Tree Sentinel and the Black Blade kindred leading to the Mountaintops of the Giants. So, basically, anything I could comment Azure. So there are neat occasions with her if the questline is done alongside general roaming. Yeah, if you want. Should you just kill Shabriri now to get his death dialogue? Does he die by himself or anything, like, independent of us? Or does he just always, like, wait here? I mean, I could kill him, but, like, I really love his dialogue.
Chosen, tarnished, and would-be lord, descend into the depths.
Yeah, blah, blah. Where is it? No, say your chaos line! I want chaos! Anyway. Where would we have... I guess she would be maybe around here. Because she's not by Shibriri. Oh! There's somebody here. Oh! There you are.
To think we'd meet in such a place.
Uh-huh.
What could your purpose possibly... No. I know well enough who you are. And what I know is good enough for me. Call upon me again. In battle. Should you have the need.
Again. I think we have some things confused here, Millicent. I think the disease is still rotting your brain.
I'm searching for a fort to the north of the ruins. I heard the master of the fort was given a medallion that allowed him to visit the Halig tree. Indeed, I believe that is where Melania will be found.
Melania.
The Halig tree is hidden somewhere in these northern lands.
Knowing me, I'm probably just inconsistent throughout, but I always had in my brain it was millennia for some reason. Probably because the Japanese is written that way, and that's also how I remember Malay Murray, or whatever his name is. Malay. Just so much millennia. But no, it's Melania. It's like Medea.
I'm searching for a fort to the north.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard them.
Do I have to go to Castle Sol now? He disappears if you do Frenzied Flame and appears as a summon for Godfrey. Oh, that's cool. He doesn't have any new dialogue except for when you kill him, I don't think. Okay, good to know. We'll kill him when I feel the need to then. Anything with you here? That's how it is for me, Marenia. Yeah, I don't see her, so I don't think she appears here. That or she, like, appears at, like, the rooftop or something. Alright, let's see if she appears here now. Shibriri dies independently after you get fried and beat Godfrey, but that entails the 3 finger tattooing. Yeah, that's never happening. Ah, there you are.
Again we meet. In only
Fancy
some
that.
ways our purposes are aligned.
Yeah, definitely. I
In
want to
which
see your
case,
quest line to conclusion, so do
Allow
you.
me to explain myself. I am of Melania's blood.
Melania.
But in what capacity, I know not. I could be sister, daughter, or an offshoot.
Yeah, this is a very weird thing to
Whatever the
think about,
case,
isn't
though,
it?
I am certain of a kinship between us.
Uh-huh. You are her seed, baby.
There is something I must return to Melania. The will that was once her own. The dignity. The sense of self. That allowed her to resist the call of the Scarlet Rod.
Yeah, she dropped that like
The path
she dropped that like an old
to
used
meet
towel
Radahn's
against
measure.
Radahn, huh?
There is something, the will, the
Yeah.
dignity.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Let's do it, chat. I think you're good to talk to Gowry and chat with Millicent FAL now. Yeah, okay. Actually, let's do the Gowry talk first. Gowry! You're over here. Heart of Aeonia. Millicent has been such a good daughter to me. What? Oh no, chat! We had one of those crashes. Oh boy. Oh boy. I swear, Elden Ring. It is such a bizarre game that it doesn't really lag that much anymore, but it still has these weird crashes every now and then. Oops, I left the Elgato channel up on this. It's fine. This game is good, yeah. Game of the year, everybody. I think that should be really saying something about the state of gaming. I mean, the dialogue here implies Melania basically felt that she cheated to fight with Radahn, right? In some sense, yeah. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I did a tweet a while back where I was looking at the lip flaps for Melania in that story trailer, because she actually does mouth something when she's like, you know, like connected to Radahn right before she releases like the bloom, right? You know, she gives in, right? Her willpower to resist the rot gives out. She couldn't avoid the call in that critical moment. And if you look at it closely, it seems to read to me, now obviously lip reading, you can read something multiple different ways, right? That's why there's bad lip reading out there that can create seemingly coherent, sensible stuff that's really just a bunch of nonsense. Right? But when you look at the lip reading, the only thing I could think of that would make sense in the context that matches would be something like, "Please forgive me, Mikola." So it's a line kind of like that. And so it sounds to me that, yeah, she basically knowingly was like, okay, I either die, or I either die here, or I eke out something of a victory. And so she ended up relying on the power of the rot. And we can see the result. Anyway. Burst out with such power that it basically bombed all of Caelid. Very true. I don't think Melania really knew there was a Rot Flower move, just that in a dire moment she entertained turning to the Scarlet Rock that plagued her, the Outer God's power, built up for ages. Yeah, again, whatever you want to phrase it. Yeah, I don't necessarily think she was like, yes, I know all the secret arts of the Rot. But yeah, she definitely was someone who was like, gonna rely on that power.
I didn't notice you there.
Uh-huh.
Welcome. How may I help you? My apologies, though. You hardly needed to see me like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's just... I realized that I'd soon be saying my goodbyes to Millicent, and my eyes began to well. She is to meet them very soon, her sisters, and when she does, she'll be defeated, surely, and begin to flower.
Uh-huh.
Which is why, if you happen to be present for the girl's fight with her sisters, I ask that you side with the sisters and kill Millicent. It must be done by your hand, no other. Millicent trusts you, rather deeply in fact. Sever that trust. Nurtured by betrayal, her bud will flower most vividly. When Melania ascends to godhood, Millicent too shall be reborn as a Scarlet Valkyrie.
Now again, for those that don't know, the Japanese for Valkyrie is literally war maiden or battle maiden, right? So the idea is like, you know, she'll be a maiden, you know, pure, virginal, blah 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 blah, but for war, to fight, right? Much like how we often think of Valkyries. Also, I just want to point out how the localization kind of did a slight flub here, because they have it here as become a flower as a question when his actual dialogue just says flower, which obviously can be at least in casual conversation would kind of come off a little differently. Be like, oh, she's gonna like bud flowers or something. It's like, oh no, I mean she's gonna become one entirely. It's like, oh, she's not gonna sprout them. She's actually like actual like flower. Okay. So it's just kind of a little funny little it's a minor thing, but I find it hilarious though that they didn't line that up for the question.
You can't tell me you don't wish to see it? The superior bud that is Millicent becoming the finest of flowers?
I don't know, man. I'm not into your cult.
You kill her with your own two hands.
I'm a man of sorcery.
You can't. The superior. I beg of you, kill her.
They actually let you have this. I just love that. Technique of the pale pests who crawl through the lands afflicted by scarlet rot, the abandoned children of the goddess. Do you have any interest in rot incantations? Says Gallery. Awkward. Yeah, it's a funny little thing. It's just like, she's gonna begin to flower. Become a flower. I didn't say that. I said flower. I don't like this guy talk about girls budding. God damn it, John, why'd you do that to me? Yeah, Gowry basically wants to use the disease inside Millicent with no one with no care for Millicent's own life. Yeah, it's like, I do find this funny where he's like, I'm gonna have to say goodbye. It makes me so sad, but it's for the greater good of our religion. It's like, oh wow, Gowry, you're really hook, line, and sinker on all this. This little cult shtick you started. That's the roots. There's the drain channel. Do you have an interest in rot incantations? Is the way a door-to-door salesman phrases it. The first encounter with Millicent can also be the Onion invasion. Yeah, I think that was how it was for our Let's Play, right? I think we first encountered her in the swamp, right? Where she has both arms. It's implied she has briefly been controlled by the rod and goes berserk, beat her, and she loses the arm. I don't know if I don't think we beat her or loses the arm necessarily. I think she still is missing it anyway, right? If you do the quest. But yeah, I would agree. The idea, because I think the idea with the arm was that it's just the rock got so bad she had to cut off an arm like Melania. But yeah, same idea, right? The general vibe of, like Melania, there's this whole call of the rock god or the power of the rod or whatever, and so, ooh. So be summoned to assist Millicent. Wait, how, isn't there also the option to betray her or whatever? I actually don't know which would be the better option. Ah, there it is, of course. Challenge Millicent. Oh no, chat, what shall I be? I am a sorcerer, I have no stake in any of this. Well, you know what, Millicent has been nothing but good to me, so I'm kinda leaning on saving her. But I kinda wanna just be a dick! Okay, so I sided with Selene, and we saw how that worked last time, so I'll go and save her this time. The invasion can't be skipped, but it seemed like the implication that she loses in the invasion and regains her mind afterward. Yeah, I agree with you generally. I just don't know if necessarily her arm gets lost because we defeat her in the invasion, Night Scout. That's sort of my point. I think it's much like with Melania, where it's just like, okay, the rot just gets to her arm, I think. But I agree with you. The general idea of, like, she probably was going berserk at some point, thanks to the Scarlet Rot, and then it got to her mind and her arm and all that stuff sometime after the fact of that point. Though that would be interesting, because does she invade you after you started her quest line with her proper? Because that would be an interesting implication on whether or not we can assume time travel applies to summoning signs in Elden Ring like it does in other games. Because then it'd be like, oh, okay, we can encounter a past Millicent before we meet present Millicent. Or after we meet present Millicent. Help Millicent equals needle that saves you from frenzied flame ending. I see. I thought you had to beat Melania in order to get that item. But I guess I'm not doing frenzied flame if I recall, but might as well. Okay, we'll just do it. We'll try to help her. One gives you a +5 dex and increases your damage with successive attacks. The other just gives you an item that just increases damage with successive attacks. The fun part is these two stack. Oh, wow. So you want to do both quests anyway. Uh-huh. Oh. Woo. 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 Millicent, you're doing some waterfowls. Oh, right, that's what she does with the invasion, too, if I recall. God, how can I forget about that? That is such a... Oh, no. Millicent! Oh. I haven't even looked at the sisters' names, by the way. Hello, Maureen. Wait, am I the third wheel here? I feel like she can handle it all on her own. Hi, Marine. You're the only one I actually knew the name of. Rod and Wing Sword Insignia. The invasion is sort of a weird time hiccup. Yeah, I don't think they patched it yet. No sign in Aeonia, just an attack. Yeah, so that suggests to me then that we could still assume that there's time-space travel that... The return of the magic gold barrier! Gosh, if this thing exists, why do bosses ever die to me? Just erect your magic gold barrier of invincibility. You need to beat Melania to turn in the needle to get the other needle. Gosh darn it, the stupid... We're having needle battles, are we? Damn, what is this, California? I think one sister, Pollyanna, helps as a summon sign for O'Neill. Gowry was probably plotting to have Millicent Bud all along. Yeah, that's I think pretty obvious from his dialogue and stuff. Like, that's the entire reason of having her go on the journey. Like, he doesn't care about what Millicent wants to do. He just is like, she would become a flower. And I guess the idea was to have us betray her after helping her along the entire journey like he wanted. So that way we could truly make her despair, right? You know, like typical evil villain shit. The barrier is pure gameplay help. Too many people missed her, then jumped straight on her head. Yeah, it's just... shit like this, I just find so, like, gamey. It's just so silly to me. Again, I missed it when Dark Souls was like, oh, you accidentally killed the NPC? Well, sucks to be you.
Oh. Hello. Thank you for lending your hand. Without your help, I could not have defeated that quartet. I feel as if I've been in your debt from beginning to end.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. With your help, I was able to live as my own person. If only in passing.
Uh-huh.
But this is where things end. I pause to even tell you, but I took out the needle myself. Tell whoever put you up to this that if I am to flower into something other than myself, I would rather rot into nothingness as I am.
Uh-huh.
Please, let me pass alone. The scarlet rot writhes now, worse than ever. Soon, I won't be more than a mound of flesh, curse-laden, untouchable. I wouldn't want such a thing to bring you harm.
Curious if she says curse lady in the Japanese too.
Please.
Okay.
The scarlet soon.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Curse-laden. I wouldn't want such.
Uh-huh. I mean, if you haven't noticed, I've been surrounded by a lot of rot I've had to wade through, so this is nothing new to me, girl. I like gamey. She's emo now. Nobody asked you, John. Anyway. Millicent is in 1 HPO Strava and Oscar mode right now. Let's see. So we can't kill her, which I assume means that, if we come back, we'll be able to get the reward, right? So we could do this. There we are. Look at these effects on diagonal surfaces, completely ruining the illusion. Alrighty. Alright, last time we have to go see this ugly mug, chat. Thanks for keeping us company. Really, I became attached to you after so many times passing you by. Yep, there's the item. Analyze gold needle. Alright, so now we go to Gowry, right? Gowry! Your plan failed. Millicent was not very pleased. So the people who Goomba stopped Millicent immediately killed her. I see. I can imagine. Again, I don't know why that doesn't just let you get the item normally, though, like you would in like any other FromSoftware scenario. I don't know why they want to have this like dramatic moment with her. Like, if you want to, if the player wants to cut it short or accidentally cuts it short, so be it. I mean, it would be the same thing. Be like, oh, just let me pass on naturally. It's like, or I could just kill you. You know, save you the suffering.
Millicent, my daughter, why would you take out the needle?
He knows
You're
already,
so
interesting.
Close, so very close to becoming the fairest of all flowers. Would you disown us too, as your mother did? We children of the Scarlet Rot. Millicent, Melania, do you detest us so utterly?
Yes, apparently. Sorry, Gowry. I don't think your cult's gonna take off with your gods.
Millicent, Melania, do you detest...
Can I kill him now? Is there anything else with... Yeah, I think you can kill him now. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. That's the real man this time. Nice. Did you beat Melanoma yet? No, Chaotic. We gave it a good one try. And then like a few other kind of joke tries. Which surprisingly ended up being a little more effective than the one good try. Did you ever do the kill Gowry before this point thing? Yeah, we did. I'll say that. I think it was an accident the first time I did it, but it was one of the coolest little details. I do find it funny how this is the one instance where he's like, nah, you know what? I'm too sad to like go off somewhere and have one of my servants do this remotely. It's like, oh, okay. Sure, whatever. I do find that little aspect kind of funny, that he kind of just stops doing that for this one instance, but whatever, it's fine. Atlantis Rise, Bestial Sanctum. What else haven't we checked up on? Oh, we haven't checked on our friends here. Where is it? Yeah. Good old Father Corrin. Gosh, I hate how they do navigation here. I gotta do all the way. I don't think this is closer, but whatever. So he's a child of Millennia, or just the Rod in general? I'm assuming the term being used here is the same used in the pest threads when they talk about the abandoned children, which is the same term used for Astel, when they call Astel the natural born of the void, right? And this is a word that you'll see me translate in on the website and stuff as Orbital Archive as spawn. The idea that you are a fallen or lost child. It's a term that historically referred to a bastard, particularly a noble's bastard. But colloquially, in modern Japanese, especially in like fantasy video games and stuff, it's just kind of used as like another word for like monster, right? Like you know, like when you call like something like hell spawn, or you know, like you never call anything good a spawn, right? The idea is that it's something where, like it's the product of a mistake, a bad intention, like something goes wrong, right? In some sense or fashion, and you don't want it. It's kind of like omen in that regard, because omen child is a word that means like, unwanted child, undesirable child, right? It's the idea of, you know, like, you know, well, you know, like you have a newborn or some sort of kid, and it's like, okay, well, this is not how I wanted this kid, like, it came out deformed or something, so it's an unwanted child, or maybe the baby, I don't know, killed the mother or something, right? Like, you can come up with any sort of situation to apply that to, but the general idea is that these are terms that are not being used to refer to them necessarily as literal children. Obviously, with omen children, there's a little bit of a connection there, but the idea is like they're obviously not children anymore now. Yeah, okay, we have to go further. And it's the same thing with the spawn of rot, right? The whole kindred of rot thing. They're all a bunch of spawns of the rot. They're you know, they're twisted, they're wrong, they're decayed, they're unwanted by Melania and apparently Millicent. So that's the idea. And Gowry considers himself part of that probably because he's what's the word? Because he's aligned with the rot. Because from what we can tell, he seems to have been a sorcerer of Celia, and then he ended up becoming fascinated with the rot after Melania did her thing.
Ah, nice to see you. Do you need something else?
Oh, you still... Nothing new with you here? Okay. Okay. Alright, guys, I'm trying to think if we have anything else we could possibly add here. That's done. We did the quest lines here, right? We have, oh yeah, this is me tracking the highway. So it goes something like, if I recall correctly, it was something like this. Then yeah, then it stops here, yeah. So yeah, I gotta cover this on the document with Godfrey, because we have the highway tower, we have all these graveyards. Yeah, that's gonna be the next part of my analysis for the Stormlord duel thing. Anyway, that's a separate thing. Finger Maiden Hyetta. Okay, yeah, we have her thing, but we don't care. Bock the Seenster. The bats reminded me of something. The crowned harpy atop the ruin-strewn precipice has a rancor attack. With how the bats eat corpses, I wonder if the harpy ate people's souls. Ooh, that's a very good point there, Night Scout. I did not think about that. I'm wondering if it was just like practicing like old arts or something like that. But yeah, that could be possible. The idea that maybe it ate the corpse of like an old pagan that practiced death cult rituals or something like that. Yeah, that's a possibility. Wait, Bach? Bach, are you here?
Bock the seamster, at your service, master. Ready to make adjustments to your garments.
Nothing with you, gotcha. Okay. Alright, I guess we're moving on. I think it's really funny that Melania didn't realize Mikola was just playing with Big Brother Moog this whole time. I mean, imagine, you leave to go all the way here with your army, march all the way... Although, to be fair, it's never really clear where exactly... Because, like, we're told about, like, her march south, but we only get the first indication of it, like, here. I am kind of curious how exactly her travel path was. Like, are we really to expect that she, like, went all the way, like, through mountaintops or something? Or did she, like, take a boat? And somehow climbed up to, like, Liurnia? Like, I have questions. But anyway, there is something really funny about her, like, marching all the way over to Haligtree. Meanwhile, Moog is like, well, I'm just gonna pop in, kidnap this boy, pop back down all the way here, and while I have my boy all the way down here, you're all fighting up here at the exact same time. Like, I do find that very funny, how, like, Melania doesn't even realize that her brother's been kidnapped and is right beneath her feet. There's a sword modding in Liurnia detailing Melania's march. Yeah, like, that's the first time we get any indication of it, though, which makes you be like, okay, so they traveled through here, but, like, what was the path from Altus? Like, I have many questions. Also, what was the path through Academy Gate Town when you think about it? Because there's a whole lot of armies and stuff, like, I have questions. Again, it probably might be more obvious if I do a proper investigation of that, but I'm more interested in the older history at the moment. Like I said, I haven't thought too hard about Melania and Mikola. I might think more about Mikola when the DLC comes out, though, so that could definitely change things. Yeah, nothing with the NPCs here. Again, we have that. I don't know, guys. It looks like all that's left is really Farum Azula and this boss here, so... We might do an entire stream dedicated to Melania sometime in the future. Liurnia. Yeah, I can't see any other MP. Well, there's Kale. Is there anything happening with Kale? I'm gonna keep Kale alive just because there might be something with the DLC with him. You never know. They could add something with him from, like, the cut content or whatever. To kind of reference that. Yeah, nothing with height. I think we had the chat here, right? Yeah. Did the magic people mess with Melania during the march? They had to for the sword monument to exist here. So, because the sword monument's like here or here, I can't remember where exactly, but it's somewhere around here. So there seems to have been some conflict with the sorcerers here. It's hard to say if there was any conflict in the gate town and the monuments like it's possible the monument's just wrapping up all the conflict that went marching down through here, but it's hard to say. Like, I don't know if it was like, oh, okay, you're allowed to pass through the academy because of the seal and stuff or whatever, or maybe they had to take a side route. And had to be like, okay, we take this route, and then we go this way, and then we went up, like, there's several possibilities. But like I said, it only starts denoting when conveniently around here. And then obviously there's the Godric conflict, which is like around here or something, which again makes sense. Godric basically waits until Melania is outside the storm gate to make his attack, so he can easily retreat if need be, though he still got his ass kicked by Melania so hard that I guess he didn't have time for that. Hayata's alright, but Kale's voice works in his Grand Caravan Search quest is way too good to scrap, man. I agree. I think, I really like Kale's voice acting, so... His actor did a great performance. And the cut stuff is definitely a disappointment. It does make you wonder if this stuff is supposed to just be ornamentation, or if they had idea for this to be kind of like a kind of crypt, too, combined with this stuff here. I want to say no, just because it's a throne room. But, maybe.
I will remain.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we talked to you.
For the time at which time I confer raising you, I hope it is.
Yeah, okay, we talked to you. And we've talked to you then.
Ah, well then.
Just casually as an ancient dragon smithing stone. Just found that left over after the ancient dragon war. We put her in cellar, Limgrave tunnels, seaside ruins, Agiel Lake South. Patches we already got. Okay, I think we're ready. I think we've done every quest line we can before Farum Azula. Then again, it's a throne room across a really, really, really strange graveyard. That is true. It's not that strange, though, so... I've talked about this before, so it always bears mentioning, though. When we see, oh, this is a terrible example because they're destroyed and stuff, but there we go, here we go. When you see this specific grave being used, it's trying to tell you that it's a pagan grave. Because we see the flower top graves consistently used at places like Churches of America and stuff. It's constantly being used to be like, okay, so this is when the Erd Tree burial is being done with, in affiliation of someone who, like, is a worshiper of the Erd Tree faith. Versus, say, when they take away the flower from the top of these. And keep in mind, these are repurposing Cathedral of the Deep graves. Like, all of these are Cathedral of the Deep graves. Except for maybe the destroyed ones, because I think these may be, like, edited. The old... They're reusing assets, but obviously they're edited. But these are, like, Cathedral of the Deep graves. But they seem to have the idea of removing the flower from the top whenever they're trying to convey that, okay, these are all pagans, right? So this was probably from the siege that took place back here, right? And then you have the graveyards. Outside, which are probably for the people who actually, you know, fought and died trying to take the castle from back here, right? Because, again, to give the quick rundown, it seems to be the idea was the Banished Knights set up positions up here on this cliffside so they can both have a lookouts as well as be able to rain down, you know, like arrows and stuff on anyone who approaches from here. They have lookout tower also there to help with monitoring all of this and all that. And it seems to be the idea is they had a, they were distracting the forces probably up front, while covertly building the highway to connect to the Lascar so they could have really... Again, the idea of the highways is to have really solid supply routes and stuff like that. So, using the cover of the forest and the mist to be able to build all the way here, and eventually would go all the way here for the later assault. But the point is that then they could strike from behind the lookout tower, and then suddenly this huge... height advantage that the Banished Knights would have would turn against them, because now it becomes basically a trap zone, and you could just grind them down all the way up here, right? It also seems like the sorcerers helped out here because we have lots of sorcerer, well, magic casting skeletons, I should say, for here and here, along with the standard, you know, warriors and stuff, you know, like spearmen and things. And then, of course, you have the actual assault here, where it's like, okay, why are you going to try to cross this bridge, this incredibly narrow supply line, which is totally under control of the Banished Knights, and it's just going to become like a meat grinder for yourself, when you could just build the highway through Lascar and climb up here, and then make your assault here, instead of trying to go around and try to make the assault from the front, right? And that just seems to have been the smart thing that Godfrey did, and that's how this graveyard likely came to be. Because this dates to Crucible era. This is probably post-Godfrey capture. I don't know if it's necessarily Godric era, or general stuff from, like, this entire campaign to take all of this. But that's definitely from that era, and then, of course, you have the graves in here, the hero graves down here, and we know by the time of Godric's era, or at least Godfroy's era with Morgoth and stuff, that Murkwater Catacombs also seems to have been being used for some burials at a certain point. But to be fair, this seems to be more like, I'll keep that thought to myself. I see. So you're saying they didn't just bother destroying them with when they paved the path here. The only weird point for me was that they made this on a thin strip of land with a ravine on both sides. Perfectly sensible for an important route inside a fort, but otherwise. Yeah, the idea seems to be... Because you have to keep in mind, Stormvale was built as a penal colony. So the idea was that Marika sends off all the Banished Knights from the plateau. Again, if you're on my Discord, you can see the document in Loki latest, but the general idea would be, okay, so Marika sends them off. They get established relations with Liurnia, so you can build this bridge here with the Erd Tree tiling. And then move all the way down through Gate Town, take the existing bridge from Gate Town here. You're going to build the Purified Ruins into a little kind of settlement, so the Lascar peoples and the Erd Tree peoples can have some relations there between the sorcerers and stuff. You're going to convert this town. Again, this is like a buffer town, whatever, so this is the town that gets converted with the Erd Tree burial and stuff, and sorcerers can investigate, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, otherwise, you're going to continue and do the supply routes this way. And the castle itself is going to help you defend in case of any assault from the south. Now, my thinking is they were probably concerned of possibly Farum Azula attacking, because obviously Farum Azula was, again, somewhere around here, and they probably were more concerned about a march happening down through Liurnia, up through Liurnia, in the same way that they march their penal colonists down through Liurnia. And so it's like, okay, let's take this choke point, so we can try to keep them as far away from the capital as possible so they can't make a land invasion to us this way. And we can just focus on, say, this here. Now, obviously, Grand Sax just kind of lands in the middle of the capital. So, I don't know how effective the plan was, but that seems to have been the idea. Anyway, that's enough of me. I feel like every other stream I try to rant about the Banished Knights, because I'm way too obsessed with them. Let's do it, chat. Let's go to Farum Azula. Are you planning on making your way through Lane Dell this evening, or are you running to Farum? Is there anything for Lane Dell I should do? Because I think I've already done it all, right? Like, I don't think there's anything I'm missing here. But yeah, I'm trying to get to Farum Azula today. We're pretty close on... We're pretty close on hitting our time limit here, so I'd want to at least get through the opening sections of Farum Azula. Gosh, this is such a big arena, huh? Oh, wait, to get to this damn cauldron. Alright, Giant's Forge, I'm coming for you. Oh boy. Interesting. Yeah, I have to wonder. Collaboration with the Giants? Already existed before they built their cauldron? Take the design after the fact? There's several possibilities here worth investigating. Very interesting. Well, this is interesting. This could be nothing. Could also be indicative of the whole dragon thing. They did have to fight their way to take over this place. Man, look at this, chat. Feels weird seeing it all from up here. It's kind of crazy how much the horse lets you travel so much farther than you'd think. This is definitely one of the great benefits of Elden Ring. Yeah, so I can't see Far Missoula from over here. Oh, look at that. There's a grace point. That's neat. America's banishments don't make much sense to me if Far Missoula was still in Caelid and functional. Why banish people literally right next to their capital where they can report you rebuild and they invade you with full force? It's weird that Grand Sack Attack starts the war too rather than America's upstart and banishments. The idea of having penal colonists build your fortress isn't that crazy. Again, it seems to be the idea that the Fair Missoula was not necessarily like the... there's a reason I call these the Far Missoula colonies up here, because it seems to be the idea is that they were kind of these quasi-independent, like they're obviously there's a cultural link, but they were basically kind of like their own thing. The best I can think of is like, say, like Phoenicians and Canaanites or something like that, where there's like a broader cultural happening there, but it's like they're not like under a direct control of the kingdom or whatever, right? And there seems to be possibly some trade. That's possibly where the Sun Capital Shield gets into Far Missoula. But again, the other option is it gets here after the Penal Colony Rebellion. But the idea seems to be that the actual Far Missoula colonies were not necessarily like, say, Far Missoula proper, so that may have been the reason for the delay. It does seem to be something where America's not necessarily concerned about them compared to obviously the Giants and then during the Age of Plenty. Like there was never a big concerted effort to seemingly take out the dragons. And they don't seem to come in until much later. But why make the prisoners literally next door to their capital to save them from the penal to save them from your penal colony? They could make an easy alliance with their fellow dragon praises. In retrospect, yeah, but at the time, it's not necessarily right next door. Just keep in mind, this is where Far Missoula is, so you have to go through the frontier here and a bit of Caelid, and then you can get through here. So there is some distance, and the entire point, if we're to believe that this is a choke point for, I assume, Far Missoula, I can't see anything else on this area that would warrant you wanting to build a fort. The idea would then be that they're just having them build it, and maybe even staff it or what have you, but they're your slaves, so who cares? Again, the only reason all of this goes wrong, seems to be, is because the Ancient Dragon War happens. The Lyrian Wars happened before then, and that set up the perfect recipe for one heroic slave, quote-unquote, penal colonist, to rise up and lead a rebellion in league with the Storm Hawks and all that, and succeed. That seems to be it. So, again, was it maybe the smartest thing in retrospect? Probably not. But probably the idea is like, well, we control you, and we're having you sent all the way here, where you're basically irrelevant to being able to harm our kingdom, and you'll be able to act as a buffer zone against someone else's kingdom. That would probably be my rationalization. Alright, so what do I do here, chat? The stuff about Grand Sack attacks always gave me the impression it was sudden rather than long anticipated. Also, it feels like Far Missoula fell and lost its god in the Elden Ring Primerica. The attack itself was sudden, for sure. But the idea that a threat from Far Missoula might come at some point, like, that's like saying, oh, well, you know, the nuclear attack was sudden, but the idea of nuclear strike happening is not that sudden. Like, it's like, oh, well, what do you know? The Soviet Union and the United States have nuclear weapons. It's the possibility that this could lead to nuclear war is definitely on the mind. We should prepare for that accordingly. But at any point, someone could have been like, well, the nukes have attacked. Well, that was sudden. Like, sure, duh. Not much that you could assume that an attack from Farum Azula, an invasion from Farum Azula might happen one day, but you don't necessarily expect the giant-ass dragon to suddenly drop in on your city out of nowhere. Heck, Liurnia isn't even an ally yet. They might let Farum Azula march up to you and deny you marching down to them. Well, again, they are an ally at this point because they have relations allowing you to go down. So they're at the very least a neutral party at worst. But that's, again, the point of having Liurnia let you pass through so you can build your penal colony south of Liurnia. Keep in mind, also, that in building these relations with the Carians, the Erdtree Kingdom is also giving them a chance to watch the Banished Knights, who... I think we didn't talk about this last time I was talking about this stuff on stream. The Banished Knights were able to get a walk of humiliation all the way through their territory, just a conga line of humility. Sorry, humiliation. After they tried seemingly to invade Liurnia, building Caria Manor here, so they came down south, came up the hill, built the manor, started striking their attacks, then Renala and company unites the academy under her, takes over the castle, adds the gothic stuff that we all know and love, and yay! It's now Caria royal family, and this is their manor, right? This is their castle manor, just like Fortified Manor and just like other places. I assume that kills you. So, like, is Melania here to... Sorry, Melina. Yeah, okay.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate. Are you prepared to commit a cardinal sin?
Sure.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you.
By the way, Hugh should have new dialogue after
For
raiding the
what a
retreat.
moment.
Gotcha, Xavier. You done? Melina? Melina, how exactly is this working? Well, that suddenly flared up. Oh, nice. Got a bit of burns on you there, girl. It's almost as if you've been used to manipulating fire before. Or were possibly burned by a terrible fire of a black flame from the Rune of Death,
Oh,
from
tree,
Malekith.
you shall burn.
As a queen. I love the music.
Burn for the sake of the new Lord.
Oh, we're starting to see the burning.
Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
They really went all out for that touching scene for a character I have zero emotional connection to. I feel like Melina's a bit of a wasted character. Like, they could have done a little bit more with her dialogue stuff at Grace's. I felt that she was going to talk to us, like, a lot for optional dialogue, but she really only does it a handful of times to just, like, parrot America. It's like, oh, well, okay. Oh! Just having an Archdragon Peak moment. She just tranked you, partner. She just tranked you, partner. But why the active hand-holding? Because she's lewd, Joel. Uh-huh. Reminder, tornado means winding dragon in Japanese. Just thought I would point that out. Why do we burn the Erd Tree? Because apparently we have to do that. I actually forgot what the lore reason was. It's been so long since we've actually gone down this plot line. I think we need to burn the Erd Tree so we can get rid of the thorns so we can enter the Erd Tree, am I right? And we need Destined Death to complete the burning. Otherwise it's just gonna, I guess, burn perpetually but not complete itself. Maybe. Spitting Stone 8, what a shocker. What do we have here? Oh, wow. I think these are different spear models from what we've seen in past areas. Oh. Am I crazy? Those look like those are made of, like, stone or wood or something. Yeah, this looks more like a wood than a metal or anything. Huh, interesting. Implications that Maiden Sacrifice is still too weak. Well, she's too weak of a character, so I understand. Anyway, Langdale flower floors and like a dozen twin blue murals on the wall. Yeah, it's true. We got the Archdragon Peak murals here too. This is interesting because it sort of creates this cultural connection between between the Erd Tree Kingdom and of course the original Elden Ring Kingdom. This would be the twin bird murals, people would say. Interesting idea. It would make sense if birds truly descend from dragons, but then again... Oh. Oh. The thing I don't get is, what's the point of this? This doesn't lead anywhere. There's no doorway or anything here. It's just... giant random... wall, maybe? Checkpoint thing? I don't know. I don't know what the point of all this is. Whatever. Unless maybe there was, like, more to it here, and it's been lost or something? This is gonna be weird, chat. This is gonna be so weird. Golden Rune! More golden runes. God, I can't tell if I really love that effect or really hate that effect. It feels simultaneously amazing and yet just really low quality. I don't know how I feel about it. Oh, what's this down there? That looks like that's the Malekith boss arena. Yeah, that looks like a Malekith boss arena, alright, so... Knowing Miyazaki, it's like, ah, look at this! The big landmark that you'll first see next to the tornado that blocks everything else. This is how you know it is where you're supposed to end up. Interesting here. We see some nice old graves, but for different kinds of burial here. This is something Smotown mentioned, the idea that they're returning to beastliness, huh? This guy's like, they'll get over it. Okay. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Alright, that worked out a little too easily. What's the catch? Old Fang. Old Fang. If I recall correctly... So this would probably have less to do with the actual crucible of the Erd Tree and more having to do with the idea of the original primordial times, or the earlier history, when such growth and evolution and stuff was happening, and you'll still see some remnants of it in the beasts themselves after all their evolving is done. I haven't found Grace Point yet, so no. Anything interesting up here? Nope. God, I hate the lighting for this. That is so ugly. Lightning-proof dried liver. What a shocker. Gosh, there's a big dragon in there. Just keep on spinning, bud. Oh, I think this is the first time we've seen these statues here. There's the good old Canehurst statues. You got the Virgin of Paris inspired Queen statue with child. Then you got the King statue. This one's interesting. You got the King statue here, but instead of him holding the staff, he's with the mother with child, and she's much smaller with the smaller child. Which makes sense, right? Because Big King would presumably be Placidusax. And then this idea would be to show the Queen smaller to represent how she's, you know, quote-unquote Newman. And then you got the child, of course, that they would have, and I believe that would be the ancestors to modern humanity. Oh my. This feels like a boss arena. Oh, that's cool. I'll talk about this more once we're done here, because I'm sure there's gonna be some boss, or probably a dragon knowing this game. Yeah, they're leaving all these items out here. There's gonna be a dragon. I should be prepared already. Oh. Interesting. That's a lot of damage. How am I outrunning you? Oh. I got the item, that's all that matters. Oh my. Just keep running, just keep running, just keep running, running. Dragon Moon Grace, what a shocker. Listen, I know I'm disturbing the graves, but could you please? Hello? Oh god, we had a little slight lag there. Oh wow. They're really generous, huh? Yikes. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna do this real quick. Can you check if you can climb back up this ledge? Langdale's interiors were most likely redone by America Company. Let's see, Crumbling Beast Grave first. Langdale's beautiful interiors and rooftops. Harmazula feels much older in design, almost like some ruins, even in FA's time, got pulled with it. I don't know about some ruins even in FA's time. Like, it seems to be all fairly consistent. Maybe I'm not looking close enough, though. Let's see. I think this is a one-way route, but let's see. Yeah, you can't jump back up. for those spears. That's a fugly design, isn't it? But yeah, as I was saying before we found our buddy here, I was thinking about what Smotown was showcasing with his vid on the dragons, and my thought was, I'm wondering if the beast burials, because again, this goes with the idea that dragons are the ancestor of all races, especially beasts. The idea that, when I say races, I obviously mean fauna, animals, you know, not plants. But the idea being that these beasts being entombed, encased in this rock like this, I wonder if the idea is to kind of have them be like a return to their origin point. So you see them being encased in rock, like the dragons themselves with their stone scales and all that. And you see additionally with the ones like, say, over here, them being given gold, much like, again, how the dragons have the power of gold beneath their scales and stuff, right? So they get all these gold trinkets and stuff to decorate them. So it's kind of like almost a ceremonial, kind of like return, you know, kind of a return to the earth and become a dragon type of idea. Oh. Oh, this is death. Well, that's one dead. Oh, Pot Man. To be honest, my damage is not that bad for this area. I was expecting it to be a lot worse, all things considered. This is like cow or horse stuff, right? If I recall correctly. I can't tell if that's just reusing assets because they didn't have enough beast skulls to use. Either way, I do find it funny. Who knows? Maybe the beasts, in addition to having dogs of their own, which is an awkward thing to think about for their society, but also had like horses that they rode. See, more of these, I don't know what to call them. They're like, almost like supports, almost like support bridges or something, but they don't seem to lead anywhere, or at the very least the first, yeah, this one doesn't lead anywhere, right? Like, it's just broken and ruined there, but it just seems to, like, exist, I guess, to maybe help support the outside structures here? I guess? Little lake river thing. Copy-pasted coffins, that's nothing crazy to look at. I hear something familiar down there. Oh boy. Nothing really interesting going on with the roofs. Okay, so let's move on over here. There you are. I was like, there's gonna be something that's gonna ambush me. Sanctuary Stone. I don't know what you're chowing on. Stop it. It's nothing. My man, you're going crazy. Actually. Might actually be more accurate than I thought. Look at that face. For a second, I thought the face itself was a skull, but no, it's just ugly. They are a bit bony, admittedly, though. They got some bony joints. So this might actually be like exposed skull or something. That's a terrifying thing to think about. They finally did the Archdragon Peak. They finally got that Archdragon Peak idea. Of course. Oh no! So far, so good. Let's see how much Carrion Slicer can carry me through this area. Golden Rune. Look at that! That's another obvious boss arena down there. I guess the idea is that there are a bunch of dragons in this area, and we're just gonna have to keep killing them all. I guess that's gonna be the idea. It's gonna be a bunch of mini bosses. Which again, I'm fine with, but... I was also thinking, I was wondering if this, return to beastliness might be why some of these guys get chained for their deaths and all that. Kind of like what we see with the lycanthropes in Dark Souls 3. The idea of kind of like, okay, we're gonna like kind of put. Oh my. We're gonna like put I don't want to say, yeah, like crucify him almost. You know, like kind of like put him on a pole. Ooh, cool. Oh, I should have seen that coming, to be honest. Oh god. Oh god, we had like the slightest lag there. I was like, holy hell, what is going on? Yeah, we're having lag in this area for some reason. Something about this center part is making me drop frames like a madman. Interesting. Always cool to see this. Oh god. It's lagging! I can't tell if this is because of the game itself or because I'm doing this while streaming, because it's possible the streaming is eating into, like, my processing. Oh well. So you have a nice little courtyard area here. Good to know that the beasts have a sense of aesthetics. They know how to plant. Alright, so that is to a very, very unwanted place. Oh, go look at that. Some red plants here. That's neat. Hero's Rune. Also, I want to quickly check that cookbook we picked up. It's not cookbook, but you know what I mean. I never turned this in with... I never turned this into our heresy boy. Should probably do that. I can't wait for him to tell me how that's a work of heresy, but he'll do it. He'll do it anyway, despite the fact he's going through a crisis of his own faith. There's a chain back there, I believe. Chain? Let me see if I'm missing something. You mean over here? There's something there. It's like cups. Yeah. Yeah, so it's almost like, I forget what the exact punishment is called, but it's something about, like, you know, tying someone to a pillar and, like, leaving them out there. I can't remember if it was for imprisonment strictly or for execution, but one of those two. Gosh, they're being really generous with this stuff. They must... I have to imagine there's so many builds that struggle so much with this stuff that they feel the need to put a grace point at, like, every juncture. Because this is getting ridiculous. Yeah, more Caner statues. More of these are reliefs, though, than actual statues in this case. Also, what the hell, Miyazaki? What the hell? This is how you know the devs do not actually look up when they're designing their own games. Like, what is this, the dragon entrance? Do they fly over here and just come through? Can they not use the front door? Ay, ay, ay. Those cuffs are decorative bracelets. Yeah, they definitely look like cuffs, John. Don't forget Hugh. Gotcha, Xavier. I will not forget Hugh. We're getting to the point where we need to wrap up anyway, so... Let's just make sure I'm not missing anything else over here. Nope. We got all that. There's no secret drop-off point here. So we have a back area here, which we can do. And then I assume this is the progression point. So you have all of this for, like, bear... And we started, like, here, right? So you have basically this entire conga line for burial not in the ground but in the rock, and it's like a mausoleum thing they got going. And they have their own little like kind of gravestones and stuff, seemingly also for representing that. Very interesting. Obviously, we see the same lion imagery used with the bestial sanctum and stuff. I forget, where was the area we could appear at with the 4 belfries or whatever? Okay, there's a drop-off point. What the hell is over there? Okay, just a beast. Skeleton? Question mark? Yeah, a lot of beast skeletons. Look, there's the Sun Capital shield. There's a little mage person doing gravekeeping. Same here. Got a crossbow boy. Dragon. God, the platforming. Thank God we have a jump, right, chat? Oh, look at that. There's an item beneath this guy. That's interesting. So, it brings to mind the executions of the Tarnished here, right? Back in Godric's era, with them like being crucified and all that. So this seems, yeah, they definitely seem to be going with that same idea, right? And then you have like items and stuff that'll drop or be laid beneath them or something. Most likely drop. You have also an item here from a corpse. We have another corpse there. Gosh, there is so much to explore. So it looks like there is an entire ring just for the mausoleum burials, and it went both ways, it seems. And then it looks like the actual city stuff was over here. I wonder if anyone's tried recreating Far Missoula. Okay, now this is interesting because it tells us that it looks like there might have been parts of Far Missoula that was completely underground. Yeah, this looks like this was completely underground. I don't even know if this was like just a cliffside thing. This is a little interesting, the way they have this set up here. I guess with all the land like collapsing and stuff, you can kind of imagine some stuff like kind of like falling by the wayside. We see more of those statues ornamenting that building there. I wonder what that's going to be. Because, yeah, big temple over there. Oh, look, another dragon. Yep, big temple. City stuff there. Something there. Some sort of highway to the temple. Then I wonder what this is. I wonder if this is a separate temple. Because if I recall correctly, this is like the main temple where you get the statue of like Placky's god with the wool beasts and then the Elden Ring, right? So this might have been like the main temple for like the Elden Ring and like the worship of God and all that. Then this would probably be a dragon temple maybe, or just like maybe part of like the beast faith proper. I don't know, again, I have to explore more of this place and get a better sense. But yeah, cool. Cool beans. Liking how we started this, so... Anything we want to sort here? Yeah, we'll drop this stuff. Nothing we picked up, yeah. I have to go through this stuff at some point. I hate this. Stop auto-equipping arrows. It pisses me off so bad. Anyway. This can go back. Yeah, we'll organize this stuff eventually. God, it's too much. Alright, let's go talk to Hugh. Oh yeah, Alexander shows up here for his quest. Gotcha, Night Scout, I'll remember that. I actually don't remember last time I talked to Alexander. I kind of forgot he was a character. Hugh. Also, wait, well, I know I'm a little delayed in noticing this, but, round table hold? I don't think you're feeling so good. You're looking a little crispy. Just slightly embered. Golden embered, but embered nonetheless.
Take a look around. The round table hold is burned. razed to the ground.
Well, I wouldn't say
Don't
that.
worry. I don't blame you. I'll continue spirit tuning just the same as before. Which is why I need your help persuading Master Hugh to leave. His roots are so knotted in this place. He won't last much longer if he stays here. His shackles are broken. He's a free man now. It's high time he put the round table behind him.
Nah. I need him, so no. No more chains. Look at that, his chains burned, chat. His chains burned.
I knew you'd be back. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing. Weren't you listening? As I've always said, you came to challenge the demigods and their god, to slay them. And as long as you do, I will always smith your weapons. It is what I wish. To smith a weapon for you to slay a god.
Oh. He's okay with this. Uh-huh. We have so many sombers now, though, chat. Yeah, this we'll do. This I don't mind doing. This I'm not so sure on. I'll have to think about that. I don't know if I want to invest into Azur's staff at this juncture. Gosh, whole place is burning. We still have the fire here. Wow. Crazy to think about. He's free. He's free. If you do the Frenzied Flame ending now, Melina won't show up, so her very soul is gone. Melina is no more. If you do the Frenzied Flame ending, doesn't she show up at the end still, though? Or do you get a different ending with her? I'm actually kind of curious. Oh, apparently Hugh had dialogue if you refuse Melina's request to burn. As in request to burn her, or... Let's see. Anything new from you?
Lay out your arm.
Nothing new here. That's cool, though, that he has dialogue for... If, I guess, you took Frenzy Flame Root or something. Let's see. Farmazul is intriguing for the handcuffed, killed beastmen being part of the ritual grave. Oh, pardon me. This isn't like the strung up corpses in Godric's Frontier. Strung up? I'm not so sure. Because there could be the idea that they're respecting them. But again, I agree. I don't think it's because they're criminals per se, or like, you know, sinners, or, you know, they're tarnished or whatever, you know, doing Godric's depraved shit. It seems to be more so the idea that, at least to me, that the beasts seem to have cases where, you know, they kind of, you know, they go Gru, right? The Grus, sometimes they go a little crazy in the head, and they start going all bestial and all that. It seems to be the idea is, okay, we'll tie them to posts. That's the word, posts. I'm like, pillars, no, posts. We'll tie them to posts. And if they don't, they'll die that way. I mean, if they don't, like, return to sanity, they'll die that way, right? And then that'll be their burial. That's my impression. Later on, there are dragons lodged in the walls here, too. They have a unique resemblance to Placidusax. If there are 5 in total, I'm curious if they are diffused Placidusax. That'd be interesting. Because I think, yeah, if you look closely at content, there's at least 5. Though I think his talisman only shows 4 heads, so it's quite possible the 5th head isn't canon. It's really hard to find the 5th one anyway, so that might be the intention. The statue always seemed a bit ambiguous to me, as if the young girl was praying for safety from the encroaching wolves. I don't think so. I think it's just the idea is that she's attracting the wolves, right? It's like you have a god, and the beasts come around, and then you have the Elden Ring. Like, it's very obvious in terms of the beast religion that's there with the whole dragons and stuff, that it's not supposed to prey on her. Like, you make a temple, it's like, ah, yes, let us pray on Placky's god as beasts? Question mark? I don't think that's the intention. Let's see. Roderick has new lines around now too. Any as well. Okay, we'll try out any and then we'll call it. Oh yeah, Melina burned her very soul here on Marika's orders. So personally, I don't think Marika cared too much about her kids. Is this on? If I guess, because her mother. I guess she is doing this because of her mother, right?
What use do you have for me now?
Your
I am
weapons?
a finger reader. I will remain here until their dialogue ends and the fingers speak again.
I still have some
As you
I'm
please.
sorry, some stuff hewn from the Erdtree to give you.
Whatever course seems most worthy to you. Now you may go. You'd force this tired old crone to work, even now.
Yeah, get to it, lady.
Harder taskmaster have I never met.
You got that right. Useless. Useless. Anything I want from you here? This would be cool. Yeah, you know what? I'll buy this. I want to look at some of the armor. Briar gauntlets. Briar greaves. Veteran's helm. We'll look at this another day, chat, but we'll buy these now so I don't forget. Yeah, go for it, blah, 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 blah. We don't care. Alright, chat. I think we're gonna call it here. Roderick, after talking to Hugh, then Hugh again. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha, Xavier.
I see. You're here for some spirit tuning.
Yep. I'm
Is
never
that
gonna
right?
call it quits.
So Master Hugh won't listen to you either. You have my thanks.
Okay, we're gonna have to end this real
regardless.
soon, though, chat.
I'll try and talk him round next time. I know he was given this great entreaty to craft a weapon which could slay a god. Though I can't help but think of it as a curse.
I mean, he seems happy.
Fearsome curse. Put on him.
Okay,
by
gotcha.
Marika. And if that's the case, I'm not sure there's anything we can do.
Uh-huh. So I have to imagine that the weapon to kill a god is not necessarily for killing Marika, because obviously we can kill Marika anyway. I wonder if the idea is that, to kill the Greater Will, or at least the Elden Beast, maybe? I wonder.
Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing. I've upset the girl. She says that now my chains are broken, I'm free. That if I stay here, I will be ruined with the round table.
Yep.
What use have I for freedom now? I smith weapons to slay a god. I have lived and will die doing so upon this spot. Is there any other way?
Well, isn't that very fatalistic of you? Let's see. Get the funny match cat. You want me to get the Renala hat? Fine, John, just for you. And then we're ending it for real, guys. Yeah, we're really coming up on time. Here, I gotta get going. I need to sleep.
Don't worry, my dear. I'll see it to the end with you, if it please.
Thank you. No, it's receive equipment. There.
Now.
Yeah. I've now gotten the funny hat. Important detail, visit Rodriga and Hugh after the first after Malekith is defeated. Remind me when we get closer to the Malekith fight, Night Scout. Anyway, guys, we're gonna actually call it now. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really great having you guys chat, give some feedback, throw around some ideas, point out, make some interesting observations. Always good to have it. I'm always grateful. But right now, I need to now end this episode here. So thanks, guys. Bye-bye.